It's time for cake, and Ash Alexander is here from Gather and Feast. This one's a real treat because it's got all my favourite things: chocolate, pears, yum.
So good. It's an absolutely delicious cake. One bowl as well, so it's super easy. All you need is a whisk or a spatula, so everything that we love.
Fantastic.
About an easy cake. I might get you to finely chop our dark chocolate.
It would be
That's
my
going to
pleasure.
go within our cake batter. So we're going to add our olive oil to the bowl. I'm using raw sugar for this one.
Okay.
I love the texture that it provides and the slightly malty sweetness. Then add some vanilla.
What's baking without vanilla, right?
I know. Measure it with your heart, I say. And now we're going in with our 3 eggs.
Okay.
So directly into the bowl we go, and then we're just going to give that a bit of a whisk.
Now, Ash, tell me a little bit about Gather and Feast. I mean, you've been working on this for a very long time, slowly pottering away, and now you've got a huge audience.
Yeah, thank you. Well, just about, sharing delicious food, helping people along the way, lots of fresh food, lots of desserts, cakes have sort of become the big thing somehow. It's sort of evolved. So this is also a popular one from the website as well, and for good reason.
I just love your Instagram page and also your website because the photography is also so beautiful. Everything I see, I want to cook and I want to eat.
Thank you. And now we're going to add our dry ingredients.
Okay.
So we've got some plain flour here, and then our 2 raising agents, some baking powder and baking soda.
Aha, okay.
And then we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon for spice, which pairs really beautifully with our pears, our pecans, and our dark chocolate. And then we're going to gently fold that till it's almost combined. We don't want to overwork the mixture. So we're using 2 firm pears for this one that we've finely diced.
Yes.
Now the trick to this cake is we want the pears to be really firm because they're almost going to steam within the cake.
Great.
So we're going to gently fold that in along with the dark chocolate.
Okay.
We want a beautiful chunk of dark chocolate in our cake. Now this is going to look really quite chunky. It's almost like pears with a little bit of cake batter around it.
The batter is almost like the glue.
But it's exactly what we want. Now we're using a springform cake pan here.
Shall I do the honours?
Thank you. So all in there, and then we're really going to have to spread it out because it is quite a thick batter there. And heavy.
A lot of chocolate and a lot of pears.
And that's going to cook up so beautifully, so moist. So we're going to use that same bowl again to make our sort of crunchy spiced pecan topping.
Okay. Pecans. Oh, I love pecans. Could we change up the nuts depending what we have at home?
Yeah, I would. Walnuts would be another good option.
Yep.
You could do maybe like a flaked almond or a slivered almond. In the pecans go.
I love hazelnuts too with pear.
Hazelnuts would be beautiful.
And chocolate. Really good.
And then our brown sugar.
Brown sugar. Great.
And then a little bit of olive oil to help bind it together, as well as some cinnamon.
We love our cinnamon.
We do. And then add another little pinch of salt. It's just going to help the flavours really come together. It may not look like there's enough, but we really want a fine layer of this over the top of the cake. And so I usually just use my hands just to really sprinkle that over. So it's really going to sort of melt into the top of the cake rather than being like a thick crust on top.
How long are we cooking this delight for?
We're cooking this at 160 degrees for 1 hour and 5 minutes. If your oven runs a bit hot, you could check it at about 1 hour, but 1 hour and 5.
Sounds great. Wow.
It looks pretty delicious.
Delicious.
So it's come out of the oven and it's cooled slightly. And we're going to remove it gently from our pan. This is why springform is important because we have all that beautiful topping on top. If you were in a different sort of pan, you would lose it as you tip the cake out. Look at that, so beautiful. So the edges are crispy and so delicious. We're going to very gently.
I'm going to let you do it.
Yeah.
So drop it.
Okay.
It has happened before,
It has
Ash.
happened before. Now, I like to remove the base first. Now you can just leave the paper on there if you like. It's quite a heavy cake, so probably a good idea.
Yep.
And now we're going to cut into it. Now this cake doesn't need anything added to it. If you're serving it for a dessert, you could add a beautiful thick cream, serve it warm. But it really doesn't need anything. It's delicious served warm. I also love it sliced cold from the fridge the next day.
Yes, it is so chunky.
So chunky and moist.
And have a look inside there. You can just see from top to bottom, you've got chocolate, you've got pears, it's all there. You should go first because this is your cake.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Get all the goodness, a bit of the topping.
You're like me. I never go the back first, I always go straight.
Straight to the point.
Let's have a taste.
Perfect combination of flavours.
That's really good. And I really love your tip about the firm pears because I can just imagine after that long cook, that hour, they would just disintegrate and make it almost too moist. This is what I like to call the perfect cake.
So good.